Andrea Miller, and I am so excited to be hosting this incredible session, Speaking Your Dreams into Reality, using affirmations like a super boss. And I am doing so with the Queen of Affirmations herself, Theresa Cesare. Okay, guys, you know this, but I'm just going to really state it up front. Affirmations aren't just words. When done right, they're frequency setters, because the manifestation doesn't come from wanting harder. It comes from aligning your language and intentions, your body and your beliefs with the version of you who already has it. In addition to being an affirmations expert and queen, Theresa is a leader in subconscious programming, mindset shifts, and feminine embodiment. Her work centers on the belief that our words have power, and when aligned with intention and heart, they can change our lives powerfully from the inside out. Through her viral affirmation posts, magnetic presence, and grounded, amazing teaching style, she's helped millions of women rewire and transform themselves. Theresa states, and I love this so much, I believe in the magic of words, the strength of community, and the beauty of living with purpose and heart. If you're ready to tap into your inner magic, shift your energy, and join a tribe of like-hearted souls, you're in the right place. This is more than a calling, it's a movement, and I'm honored to walk this path with you. Oh my gosh, Theresa, this is it, girl. We got it going on. I'm so excited. So today she is going to teach us how to move beyond surface level positivity into a fully embodied version of our future selves using affirmations as an energetic tool for transformation. Guys, I hope that sounds amazing. I am so pumped up. Welcome, Theresa.
Oh, thank you so much. It's truly an honor to be here. Love your energy. Love what we're doing here, because it's honestly life-changing. No matter, who you hear it from, it's going to hit differently by every different person. So you can never hear this power so many times, right? It's like, I always, even just being in this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is, reactivating me on so many levels.
100%. And that's such a good point. It's like, I think we've all been in that situation where you hear something, it's 17 times, 72 times. It's just, and then you hear it that next time and it's like, oh, snap, that's it. Or you go deeper, or it hits you in a new and powerful way. And so to me, this is just such an important part of the practice. And ultimately, that's what manifestation is. It's not just a one and done. It is a daily practice. It is a daily journey. And it's so cool to be doing it with you. Before we kick off, I just want to remind everybody, use your Power of Manifestation handbook. Grab it if you haven't already. If you don't have it, you can get it real quick on powerofmanifestation.com. You can honestly instantly download it. It has amazing affirmations, prompts, all sorts of good stuff for your manifestation practice every single day. But it's especially relevant right now as we're doing the session with Theresa. So grab it if you don't have it. And if you're just like, listen, I just like writing stuff down on paper, you can print it out or just grab a journal, but you're going to want to write stuff down in the session. I want you to remember it. I want you to embody it. I want to get the most out of it. Me too. Okay. With that, here's the plan. I'm going to set the stage with Theresa on just some foundational topics regarding affirmations. And then she's going to walk us through 5 key principles so you can use, and I can use, affirmations like a super boss as promised. Okay, I hope that sounds good to everybody. Now, Theresa, you've said that affirmations are about remembering your power, no pretending. What does that mean?
Gosh, it sounds so woo, but it's so simple. Like the power of words. Think about it. Like people talk about casting spells and whatnot, but we're always doing it, right? And we're just not conscious about it. Think about in childhood, you have siblings, right? A brother and a sister. And the sister's always told how beautiful she is, right? And she believes it. Or the brother says, oh, teacher says, oh, you're bad at math. You believe it. So think about how just from innate, like what we're told, people have been speaking their power of their word over us. And so with affirmations, you can take the power back in your hands. You decide what word, what sentences, what affirmation defines who you want to be. And really just overcome or demystify or whatever, break the spells of whoever, your teacher, a spouse that you're divorced from. I mean, whoever, I'm sure everyone here listening has had someone or many people in their lives told them something and you believe it. And because of that, you maybe played small, you became insecure, maybe even caused some health issues.
Yeah, I feel that. And honestly, I mean, when I think about so many of us have that inner critic that is like the DJ just on freaking autopilot. And it is interesting. I haven't ever heard it phrased exactly like you said it. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Like this idea that words become beliefs and then beliefs become our reality. And you said, they're powerful. And then at the same time, they can be so depowering. I don't even know if that's a word.
Damaging,
damaging. Right. If you're told, when you're told, you're labeled, right? I mean, there's so many labels, especially on kids now. And, a lot of us label ourselves. So I love that it just so foundationally, so practically, you're going to help us unwind those labels, those messages that we've inherited. And so much of it has been inherited, let's face it. And not even just from, parents, teachers, siblings, caregivers, but they inherited, right? And to me, it's like, freaking take your power back. Take your power back is what I say, right?
Okay. I know. And it's so simple because we watch Instagram, Reels, TikTok. We know who's out there speaking the power of affirmations, especially with neuroscience involved. Joe Dispenza, he's incredible. But I feel like sometimes we hear it that way and we love it, but it's like the simplistic aspects of our experiences that hold truth. And we could be like, oh yeah. So that's why I love thinking of them as the power of like spells, essentially.
Before we go into all the good stuff, what do most people get wrong about affirmations?
I feel like a lot of times they don't really believe that they'll work is one. And so again, what you believe will come true. And I also think the biggest is the one and done thing. I'm going to do my affirmations in the morning, but the whole like repeating it, but also embodying it. And you live out that affirmation when you're at work. And especially when life's going wrong. We want to give up and only be positive and say those affirmations when things are going good. But it's really owning that affirmation, whatever it is. I'm powerful, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm healthy in all circumstances. And really just pulling yourself away from what's happening and what is, because that's how you then quantum leap, right? Into what could be, what will be. And sometimes, like I had affirmations that I've stated and maybe it wasn't, happening at that time, but I look back at my journal and I'm living out all my affirmations because essentially my affirmations were declarations that eventually I became because I, reprogrammed my subconscious. That wasn't automatically thinking that way. And we know we can dive down the neuroscience pathways, and that's what, what we're doing here. But yeah, so that's, I think what people get wrong is not maybe really believing it, pretending like I got to do them. And you're just like Thanksgiving. You and I talked prior to the show. We're so grateful just on Thanksgiving. Well, don't just be, don't say your affirmations just once, but it's like always living them, acting them out, being it.
Well, I want to add on to that with a couple things. First of all, it's not fake positivity. I know there can be that. And I got a fun little thing I'm going to tee up here in just a sec on that note. But before I do, I also think, one of my favorite examples is with Lady Gaga. When she was 16 or 17, she wrote her Grammy speech. And she had, when I say like nothing going on. I mean, sorry, Lady Gaga, but you were in high school and, she had a dream. Actually, you know what? Let me rewind. She had a ton going on inside. Okay. She had a ton going on inside, but it wasn't manifested. It wasn't obvious. And she used the power of words, the power of her belief. And whatever it was, 6-7 years later, she gave that speech. Oh my, it gives me chills. She gave that Grammy speech, the one that she had written when she was so much younger and just believed so powerfully in herself. And I say that because, and she had all sorts of challenges that had befallen her, but she got to that moment. And obviously she is one of the foremost musicians, celebrities, just thought leaders that we all love and admire deeply. But I wanted to add on to that by saying so often we have, in my experience and observation, when we have those limiting beliefs, I don't think it's fake it till you make it. I think it's just, hey, I am going to very intentionally reprogram. Ultimately, for affirmations to really work, and we're going to get into this too, you got to believe it. And that is such an important part of the process. And I'm excited to talk about that subconscious reprogramming that you are such a master in.
Right. And I'm still, as much as I preach authenticity, I'm still working on being more myself, because I did such a good job at showing up with the most polished version of myself. And affirmations, the reason why I believe in it so dang much, because I'm a living proof. Everything that I used to believe, like what my teacher said, I wasn't a good writer. I used to be terrified of public speaking or even something like this. And I created affirmations to prove myself wrong. So essentially, reprogramming that computer, that's your brain and your energy. And really quick, circling back to it not feeling real, I understand, because there are people that are living some really horrendous situations and it's overwhelming. And so what I like to invite people when you're thinking of, because whatever follows I am, you invite into your life. I'm tired, you're going to be tired. I'm more energized, you're going to get more energy, or I'm getting my energy back. So you think of it that way. But if you're not ready to declare I am, or I will, or I can, start with I welcome. Yeah. And that's what I do, because I'm like, I want to get to this better feeling, but I'm not going to gaslight myself. So I think what happens is people feel like you're gaslighting yourself. So start with, I welcome financial stability. I welcome love. I welcome a shift, in how I think, because there's a lot of hard wiring that happened to get you to where you are and that we have to undo. So you got to start with a soft invite to affirmations for your body to feel it. So once you say, I'm ready, I'm welcome. I always say I'm ready. Like, I'm ready. Even though I'm scared and I'm not. I'm ready.
I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, no. And I'm with you. It's such a beautiful way, like you say, to not gaslight yourself. Because if you sit there and say, I'm a millionaire, and you're not, it's like, well, like you say, you're lying to yourself. And then that conscious part of your brain's like, that's not true. And now maybe I've actually pushed myself further back. I'm wondering too, if it's like you used I am as the big one. What about I have?
We're so wanting to see, but the magic, again, is just what we can't see, is in what we can't see and trusting in that. But it does feel amazing and validates this work that I so believe in when I see that. You think about your subconscious mind. I know it's very sciencey. Some people love to hear it, and some are like, oh, you lost me there. But it's your habits. It's your personality. It's those automatic things you do. So, driving your car, it's when you get up, you brush your teeth. You don't have to create an affirmation for, I am brushing my teeth today. You just do it, right? So look at what you're doing every day. And not just the things like making your bed, cooking your food to survive and live, going to work, but how are you responding to situations? Are you reacting? Are you responding? So that's what I'm talking about with affirmations. People think it's all about, I'm going to manifest a car and all these things. You can get to that. But it's being a high value individual. That's you, not compared to anybody else. And it's imperfection. It doesn't mean it's perfection, right? And so for my personal journey, it was like, I want to be an organized person, because this is the other thing. People are saying, I'm just that way. Oh, no, you're not. You're choosing to be that way. You can be anything you want. You can create it. And that's what I did. Literally, this journey is like, I'm just going to do that. And I took the action. I took the belief. I trained my subconscious. I don't react anymore like I used to with my kids when they fell. I used to every little thing. And now I'm calm. I'm a calm person. But it took practice. It took my affirmations, because a late person, that was the other thing. My whole family, we're Latin. So that's the whole thing. Oh, Latins are late. Guess what? Latins are going to be late for a long time until they all change their affirmations. So I'm on time. So that is just an example of the real day. And that's where it matters. It's the real day, creating those affirmations and rewiring what are those automatic responses, and catch yourself. It's not to punish or be ashamed of it. But it's also not to be a victim and blame other people. Oh, I'm like that because of this. No. We know better now. And it's time to again, take your power back like a boss.
Like a super boss. Well,
like a super boss.
Yeah. We're aiming high here. Well, and I just, for me, as somebody who has also overcome so much reactivity, so I appreciate your keeping it real. So much now is is that noticing and being curious.
We've conditioned ourselves also to avoid. Like using work to avoid alcohol. I've had my time with my wine to escape my marriage that I was unhappy with, all of that. And my affirmation, and especially because I can dive in a little even more personal with having, a divorced family and the kids. And when they weren't with me, it was so awful to be alone. So at first I escaped, right? Like I always had to be busy. And then I was like, no, I'm actually going to sit with this. It's so uncomfortable. And then I created one of my favorite affirmations. I'm going to heal it. I'm going to feel it to heal it. Sorry. I'm going to feel it to heal it. I'm going to feel it to heal it. It's because I didn't know how to sit with uncomfortable. And especially because at that time I was affirmation babe. I was the podcaster. So then it's just this whole like, I've got to perform, but man, you're allowed to be angry, especially with women. We're told like, if you're angry, you're this, and that. So I put a lot of anger away, but now I'm feeling those because you're right. You have to have all of them. You have to have all of them. It gets pent up. Your body keeps score.
Fearless, heroic, authentic, iconic, the greatest of all time.
So let's jump into, you beautifully gave us 5 key sections. I know we set a very, very strong foundation here, folks. I know we're like kind of already dipping in, doing our diving into the topic. But let's start with remember who you are and own your power. So Theresa, why is it so important that we start with identity and energy?
Yeah, I just think a lot of times, again, we identify with circumstances, situations, or the health problem. But remember to like who you are. You're a human that has just natural born human magic, which is your sight, your senses, right? We have intuition. We have the capacity to use affirmations, the power of our mind. And so I always like to remember that, especially when things are difficult, like I'm not that. Remember who I am. I'm not this challenge. I'm not my bank account. I'm not what my family. So I always like to say, who am I? And then that's a powerful exercise too, to own like, who are you right now? And write what comes, like with no judgment. And then who do you envision yourself to be? Because that's where you start that creating your reality by changing yourself. People say I think Oprah says that you don't get what you want, you get what you believe. You become what you believe, So it's just starting that, like you is where everything starts and ends. It's like you. And so I always like to often stop. And I even do this exercise sometimes every 6 months, because we're always changing. And sometimes I'm living a timeline. I have evolved and I'm like living out, again, my subconscious patterns. I'm like, whoa, I have money now. I'm not living like I was in college. Or, like sometimes we still maybe fill the gas tank $5, but you can fill your gas tank all the way. Those are just little things about, that whole thing. And then I just always like to remember, like you're the magic and your energy is the greatest source of power. Talk about what you can't see, and your energy is that. Like it's unspoken. You can feel it in an email, a text. And that to me is what affirmations help really direct what I want to feel. You think of a vibe you want to feel in the morning, you put on, I want to feel calm. You might listen to Beethoven. If you have a tough meeting to go to, you might play some gangster rap. You know what I mean? So I use that really with words and affirmations to direct what I want to feel and tap into like my magic and my energy, because I know that like what I believe, I'm going to emit that energy, and that's going to really create what kind of day I'm going to have, week, month, year, and it goes on. And it's really the day to day. We're always looking so ahead, but it's like, who am I today? And it's like the day by day version of you is stackable and is where the power is. And a lot of times we're so focused on like the big picture. But if you just said today, what your affirmation is, who you want to be, who you want to embody, and that's it. And I just always remember who you are and just own your power. And again, and the power I talk about, and we talked at the beginning of this, is your power is your words. You're able to cast spells. You're the director, the CEO, the boss of your life. And there's no excuses. There's no one to blame. And things might be challenging. It's hard, but you can overcome, I promise, any situation, because I'm a living proof.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, seriously. Well, and just kind of back to, I feel like what we were touching on before, but really to underscore the point that your current identity may be unconsciously reinforcing that lack, that self-doubt, the perfectionism, right? And so it's just back to using these exercises and these practices. And so much of it is, to me, is noticing and being curious. Well, even before that is just this idea of we all have way more power than we realize, like accepting that as fact, just accepting that as fact. And then, okay, recognizing that through these exercises, that's where we're going to tap into it. I just highlight that because, I mean, I felt like a victim before plenty of times, right? We all have, right? I mean, and in a big way, this whole Power of Manifestation event is about telling the truth, keeping it real, you know, and I welcome any other details about your experiencing, Theresa, because everybody sitting here and watching because we've all gone through heartache and disappointment and have felt lack and all those things. And I always feel like it's so helpful to hear other people's stories and how they've overcome them, right? And so I say that like with this whole business of myself, like even in building my business, there were people that I knew that I felt like, I'm just going to use a little example. And by the way, there were a ton of people that helped me a ton. So thank you to all those people. And then there are others I'm like, oh, that person, I mean, multimillionaire, or they've got access to all these, resources or whatever. Why aren't they helping me more, right? And I would get into that like, poor me, I'm a victim mentality. Why aren't they helping me for? It was partly my energy, right? I was coming from that place of lack. And it was like, Andrea, you need to figure this out because that's where you're going to be a master. That's where you're going to be really powerful. And then people are going to come to you. And that's exactly what's happened, right? So I just use that small example where it was like, why aren't more people helping me? And it's like, because you're low vibe, girl.
Oh my God, that's such a great example. And you know what it reminds me of? One of my favorite affirmations that I always say is I'm turning every situation in my favor. And that's turn your situation in your favor moment. Like maybe these people aren't here, maybe it's my energy, or maybe it's the universe saying, I can do this all on my own. I'm proving to myself what I'm made out of. So, and things didn't go great in my divorce. I was like, oh my God, I'm like victim. I'm like, no, the universe is like, girl, show your kids and yourself what you're made of. I would have never jumped into my full potential if I had help or anything. It's like, if things are come easy, you don't know what you can create. It's in that like, not too desperate energy, but also like, oh, what's that? What's the word I'm trying to think? When you're just hungry for something so bad, that motivation.
Well, you overcome those limiting beliefs. You overcome yourself. And that, to me, Joe Dispenza talks about that too. And when I reframe these situations that have caused me to feel like a victim, caused me to feel like I'm in lack and doubt myself and then blame other people, then it's like, no, Andrea, trust that this is for your highest good. What are you going to learn from it? Become a master, because this is a path to mastery. That's what I always tell myself.
I fly like paper, get high like planes. If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around here, I'll make them all day. I get one.
Okay, so we're going to section number 2, and we've talked quite a bit about this, but we're going to go even a little deeper. The power of words and mindset. Now, those two go hand in hand. We've touched on that. So you talk about words as energetic tools and how they frame your reality. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah. And so what I like to always start with, before you dive and make your big ol' affirmation, you literally can pick one word and it could change the trajectory of your life. So for example, I, years ago was in chaos and all I could reach for was peace. And so really, I challenge everyone just to pick what's that one word, and because it connected to my heart. So we jumped around about the science, the neuroscience of the mind, but a lot of people don't talk about the heart power, the magnetism. It actually, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Heart Math Institute, 100 times stronger magnetic strength than the brain's field is the heart. So I like to say all my affirmations have heart power words constructed within them. And that's where it's different. That's where it's going to feel more real for you. So if I say I'm capable and I'm like, use this, Andrea, use this affirmation. For you, capable might not be your heart power word, but maybe confident is. So you reach for what resonates with your truth, the identity that you want to step into. And that's where the power is in your spell. And that's where again, you can pull in that affirmation because it's so magnetic. Heart power is everything. That's why you hear people say, love is the most highest powerful frequency. It comes from the heart.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want to give a quick shout out to our audience. So I want you to notice the language you're using when you're talking about yourself. And this is, I feel like we've been talking about this all along. But where can you upgrade your inner dialogue? Literally starting this minute. I think we're going to do a live exercise, embody your word. It's all about choosing the power word. Is that where we are right now? Okay, perfect.
So what I invite everyone to do, so we know that there's the power of words and affirmations and mindset, but I invite you to embody your word. This is your word for alignment. So right now we're gonna just connect with ourselves. So I invite you all to take a deep breath and breathe out. Then go ahead and close your eyes and sit comfortably if that feels right and good, if you're not driving. And really think about a desire you have for maybe this upcoming week, month, or year even. What qualities or energies do you want to embody and attract? So think about it. Is it confidence? Do you want more flow, gratitude, courage? If you could pick one word that represents the energy, the attitude, or the mindset that you want to cultivate, what would it be? And visualize your words. Imagine your word glowing. See it spelled out in glowing white light. And imagine how embodying this word impacts your thoughts, your actions, and feelings. And now place your hand over your heart and repeat this word. So if my word is peace, say peace. And turn it into an affirmation that feels good for you. I am peace. Peace is my priority. I will protect my peace. And carry this word with you as your guiding light, aligning your actions, your mindset, and energy that you want to attract. Everything in your life has to support this word. You will manifest everything in all areas if you stay committed to that. So you can open your eyes if they were closed and come back to our session. But again, this is something I do sometimes once a week, but I do every year, pick a word of the year to anchor what energy and it's kind of like my umbrella word. And again, peace was one. I had community was my word from last year. And as I'm entering this, next year, I start, reflecting. And I've asked myself, like, what do I want to feel as, I know we have a few months away till 2026. Sometimes your word comes a little sooner. Sometimes it doesn't come. And mine is authenticity. I want to be even more me in the work that I'm doing. So think about it. But one word, and that could be how you set up your affirmation, every day is I'm protecting my peace. Because that one word, a lot of times we think we want to manifest, having $1 million, but it's who we become in that process of it that we're, wanting to align with.
So in that case, saying I am abundant, right? If abundant, if you were looking for that $1 million, if that is the main intention, right? It's back to like who are you embodying? And I think it was Wayne Dyer who said, you don't get what you want, you get who you are. And I feel like, so it's back to, if you are abundance, if you call that into yourself and really believe it, then that is the precursor to the $1 million. The one just little teeny tiny addition I wanted to make there, that I've been using in my affirmation is I choose. So like peace is a big one for me because I tend to run hot and I got a lot going on, and I will literally write down, like, and if things are stressful, I'll say, I choose peace. And it just, that has, right. And it's been one more way to, for me to give myself that power back.
I love that. That's such a good example. And it's just tuning into that. I think you're right. The Wayne Dyer, he says something, abundance isn't something we acquire, it's something we tune into or something.
Yeah. And we become. Okay. So with this power word, this magic word, how many times a day would you recommend we go through that exercise?
I would do what feels good for you. I think part of the work with affirmations, there's so many ways, right? Some people like to do the mirror work and they look in their eyes like some people in the shower. I do recommend you want to recite it using your word. You can do it in your mind. If you have, privacy, maybe you can say it out loud, but you do want to write it down. You want to write it down. That pen to paper power is something else. You talked at the beginning of the episode when Lady Gaga wrote down her speech. She had had it in her head. It might have come true, but there's something about writing it down. So even if you write your word, on a Post-it or have a beautiful, customized something created digitally.
I like that white sign. I've got my blue sign back here. I want to get my white. I want to get my word in a white neon sign.
Yeah. Think about like how your business. So think about it in that way. Like if you can, the embodiment of a word or a phrase or an affirmation, you own it like you own like the love for your business or your, the jewelry or the accessories. I have my name, Theresa. But, it's the same thing. Like maybe your word might be on the necklace and it's peace. And so I recommend, every day, peace is my priority. And then one way I like to align with it too is like, is this bringing me peace? Use that as your word. Is this supporting peace? Because then you can then really sift out, what's not supporting that. And that's how you get to that manifestation of peace in your life. So does that make sense? Sorry was my exercise a little woo?
No, it was, it's okay. So practical and really and it's something that, to your point, it ultimately comes down to what everybody's comfortable with, but it's the kind of thing to me that it's just so easy to repeat that one word, to oneself multiple times a day, right? Until it really becomes embodied, until it's like, oh yeah. And like you said at the beginning, if right now, say for example, somebody is living a little bit chaotically and they say, maybe they're not, maybe it would feel disingenuous to say, I am peace, because they're not, because they're chaotic, but I choose peace. I welcome peace. I invite peace, right? And that sort of that invitation in to me as a way to make it authentic is a giant first step. And you do it enough and your mind believes you. I mean, that's the thing. Our mind often doesn't know the difference between reality and what's in our minds, right? And we've all heard about phantom limb pain. To feel that's how we supercharge it. That's how we embody it.
Backed with heart power, I like to say. Is this backed with heart power? Because that's what's going to pull in your manifestation. Because it comes from like that soul, your.
So let me ask you one other question. And you may or may not know this, but I'm a big fan of angel numbers. And we joke about my team, 1 + 1 = 11, 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 equals 1,111, right? We all see those 1111 shows up on our phones. It's number of likes, 1,111. So we know numbers have power and magic. Do you feel the same for words?
Yeah, absolutely. And I, by the way, love angel numbers or repeated numbers. Some people think it's like, oh, it's a, coincidence, but it's still cool. Or some people think it's like your angel speaking to you. And I love them. I see them all the time. Yeah, I think with words as well. Absolutely. Sometimes a download, a word comes through that needs to be your word. That's why I like having the word of the year practice. I do it with all my friends. And sometimes they'll pick a word and they'll be like, oh, it's not my word anymore. And that's okay too. It's like, it's not, nothing's ever final. We could always decide and pivot.
Well, no, I just love that permission. And you alluded to it a little bit early on. I mean, when it comes to, okay, it's a new year, you've decided your word of the year, but it's it's your word. So if your word starts as at peace and it's June and you are peace all day long and you're like, I'm going to the next level, I am abundance, get there, right? I mean, I feel like especially women, good girls that follow the rules, oh no, it's a word of the year. I got to stick with the word of the year. I'm like, give yourself permission. And if you want to change your word a bunch of times because you feel it, because something else becomes more important, this is your game. Like, play your game, use your rules. You know what I mean? Versus saying, well, Theresa and Andrea said this word of the year. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
you have
well,
to stay committed to it. And sometimes we don't know, because I think that's why we don't manifest, and we feel like stuck, chaotic, all of it, whatever word you want to describe it, because we're not sure. I mean, I'm still always ironing out clarity, and so sometimes it's just a step in the direction you need to go to reveal.
Preach to that, right? Because I feel like this comes up a lot. I mean, especially if you're earlier on your manifestation journey, it can feel confusing. Like, I don't know exactly what my intention should be. I don't know what my affirmation should be. I don't have real clarity. But to me, the answer is a little back to the gym analogy. It's like, if you've never been to the gym, do you take an aerobics class? Do you go swimming? Do you play basketball? Like, what do you like? And you try a few things, and eventually the answers start coming to you. But that's part of the process, right? And it can feel so overwhelming. And somebody like me who's so type A and so like hyper-achievement oriented, it was like, I want all these things. I'm having a hard time figuring it out. It's like, Andrea, just get started. Just get started. You know what I mean? Because then the path kind of reveals itself. And then it's like, it's okay to take, it's not even a step back necessarily. It's like, oh, I'm going to go, I've gone left, but now I'm going to go right. And that's the right thing to do. Right. And it's like that. I feel like for me, I've developed so much more trust in myself in this process. And that has felt really good, because it's like there are so many paths for me, Andrea, to have, ultimately the love, joy, gratitude, abundance, all those things, which is, to me, the most important, these ways that I feel and the people that I'm connected to. There are so many paths to get there.
I love it. I do love that you mentioned that, because sometimes you do need to slow down to speed up, or downsize to upsize, and I think we feel this, I fell off the wagon. There is no wagon. It's just a new moment to recreate, start.
Yeah, reset. Give yourself every chance, especially as a parent. You were talking about that. Oh, parents, come on, listen up. Stay with me. When we lose it, it's like, okay, reset now. Yeah, like, don't get stuck. Don't sit there and, echo all the, the guilt and all that stuff, because that's so low vibe. And that's back to that, like, casting the wrong negative spell. It's okay, what can I learn? What can I choose? I'm going to choose peace next time.
I used to beat myself up too, because I think ego comes in for parenting, like, oh my God, what will people think, or my kids, or so I just started to use it as an opportunity when I feel like, oh, that wasn't a great moment, because we're examples, like, of for everyone. Like, people watch you, Andrea, and they're like, wow, just your embodiment, how you show up is an example and inspiration. And then even when we have moments that aren't the best, we can use it as an opportunity. Like, hey, and I do that with my kids. I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. I was kind of reactive. And then I kind of, and so that they can then model and do that as well, like with me or, their friends. And I noticed that they can handle situations, especially when they lose it. And it's less and less that it happens, because now they're just more conscious and yeah. So,
and as parents, like you say, our energy, how we're showing up, has such an outsized impact on our kids. And oh my gosh, there's so much evidence and material about, we're labeling our kids and they're doing all this stuff wrong. And it's like, oh man, it starts with us. And that's the good news. It's not to parent shame. What I'm going to ask our audience to do, just on this note, where you feel like you repeat consciously to yourself certain things, where you feel like you make the same mistake and then you feel guilt and remorse. I just want you to just take a moment and notice. I don't want you to cling on to it. I just want you to notice. So then the next time it happens, because it is going to happen, so then you're able to be a little more gentle, a bit prepared to be curious, to notice, and then to do that reprogramming. And, whether it's you're using the word of the day, or we're going to get into crafting affirmations next, that's our third section. But it's important for those times when we lose it, and we do, all of us lose it, especially, with kids, it's real hard, moms or dads, to just anticipate, okay, this is where it happens a lot of the time. Here's what I'm going to do differently. Here's where I'm going to notice. Here's where I'm going to be more gentle.
Touch my swag. I look fly. Yeah, I look good.
Okay, so we're going into crafting affirmations that actually manifest success and our greatest desires. So how do we do that, Theresa? Walk us through the process.
Yeah. So we talked about what we want to bring in, right? Like I want to bring in peace. So that's your anchor. And then what I'd like people to do is you think of your goals, and it's easy to start because that could be overwhelming in itself. Maybe just start with the most important area of your life. Some people like to do it for all areas. So I like to craft an affirmation that's literally my affirmation for the year, usually in that particular, like if it's money or finances, if it's career, if it's relationship, if it's love, say you're like, I'm manifesting a partner that's aligned. So I like to craft affirmations for each area of life and let that be like my umbrella. And every day I'm like, how am I stepping into that? Like each day, am I, doing this for finances? Am I, embodying this in love? So that's one way to bring in. It's very easy to bring in. I have like on my website, free affirmations on my page. I even create an affirmation deck because it's not like automatic. Like it's hard. Like, where do I start? Oh my gosh. Just start with what you want to feel. If it's peace, beauty, health, I welcome health. I am healthy. So start there. That's how you craft them. There's lots of, I call them like sentence starters or affirmation starters. I have a downloadable I can share. It's kind of like those starters, like I will, I choose, depending on how deep you want to go. If you don't have bandwidth, I have my deck. I have people that are like, I don't have bandwidth to like do it. So look for tools. It doesn't have to even be my own deck. You can find any affirmation deck because it's not automatic. Our subconscious automatic responses are get up, brush our teeth. We're not like, ooh, I worked at this so I can construct affirmations, but use tools, make it simple. And you pick your, I'm going to have you pick an affirmation. Pick an affirmation. Okay. Out of these two.
The one on your left.
Is it this my left? This one?
Yeah, your left. Okay. Yeah, your left. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
I am, can't see it. I am capable. I am capable. That was your affirmation.
I am.
You're like, you are capable. But yes, I am magnetic. There's just, if you can't think of one with, the tips that we're talking about on this show, just look for tools around you. Again, the magic ones are going to be the heart power. That one word that you really want to feel in all areas of your life. So I'm always creating them. The other powerful thing, so you're bringing things in, but remember that we think 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of those are negative, right? Our subconscious are like negative. So you also want to clean house. What's on automatic, like what's on autoplay, right? That I've got to, rewire. So notice and catch yourself and what you're thinking. And you can tell what you're thinking by how you feel. Emotions are an indicator, right? So that's how I start. So if I wake up one morning and I'm like, I'm anxious. So find the opposite of what you want to feel. Like I'm ready to shift and feel peace and calm and trust that my day will be okay. Everything will be okay. I'm safe. So you almost like want to coach yourself. What would you tell a kid that felt that certain way? What would you tell someone you love? So you almost like treat yourself like, how you would to a little kid, a little toddler or whatever that was feeling those feelings. And that's how you can come up with affirmations. And that's how I, every day, that's what I do. Like if I have to show up and be powerful for a presentation, I create like, I show up powerfully and and you know what's amazing? You all, we can use AI. Whip your phones out. Like you are powerful, but like we have resources and yeah, I have them on my side. You can go, but take the power in your hands. Be your own affirmation, babe, and create, be your own affirmation, babe, and use the tools that are around you. But where the power is, it's not one and done. It's every day committing to it, reprogramming, becoming it. So I hope that answered.
No, it's so good. And just adding that, something that you've talked about, it's the emotion and emotion and repetition is the bridge to embodiment, right? And we talked about that before, where it's like, well, if I'm trying to get to not even just financial stability, if for a lot of you guys, I know you want financial wealth and you deserve it and you're gonna get it, but you got to believe it. So in that case, if you want to be a millionaire and you're in debt, it's going to be tough sledding to say I'm a millionaire, and instead just this idea of I invite in, I welcome in, right? Those words, and then you feel it right back to your heart power, and you do that enough, and that is to me, it's what you do, it's what I've done as well. It's like, oh my God, that embodiment is so powerful. And it can be so much faster than, guys, it can be so much faster than you can imagine, right? And the thing that I also want to give people permission to is stair step, this tension between what's believable, in terms of setting those intentions and what's a stretch. But no matter what, it's back to your point, Theresa, about using those affirmations successfully. It's like inviting them in, right? And that, that to me, it's just, that is that subconscious and energetic reprogramming, whether it's 10,000 or a million. It's like, well, what needs to happen is I need to feel that.
Yeah. I love, that's such a good point and example. And really just every day, like you said, I'm not a millionaire, might not feel real, but I welcome, financial empowerment tips. I pray for a shift and just start to really act like someone that is. What is someone that's a millionaire or financially empowered? What do they do? Who are they around? What are their choices? Maybe they're listening to podcasts that's about financial empowerment. We always want to get to the $1 million, but man, if you did, you'd probably lose it all. You hear about those people that win the lottery. So a lot of my manifestations that didn't come through, it's like because I didn't have the capacity to hold it. So, right? So like we think it's going to fix the problem, but it's not. We have to learn how to handle debt. And it feels so good when you, just like you talked about your business, no one helped. But the journey, what you did and created on your own was, priceless.
Theresa, talk to me about I want versus I am versus I have, because I feel like there's been a lot of controversy around I want is coming from a place of lack and scarcity. Where do you come out on that debate?
So, yeah, and just like you mentioned, like I want is lack energy. So when you say I have or I am, you're embodying it, you're claiming it.
I'm inviting,
so you never
right?
Want. Yeah, I'm inviting. But you never want to say I want. So you can say I welcome, but want is like I need it, or it just has a different.
And I don't have it. Yeah. I'm telling the universe I don't freaking have it.
Yeah, I want it. But if I say I welcome, it's more of a neutral energy, and you're being honest with yourself.
Well, you're being open. Yeah, you're inviting it in, which to me is
inviting
like
it in.
That. Yeah, that I love that.
But it's
so
like
much.
I want love. I want. It actually blocks. It's interesting. Again, words matter. So the makeup of your words.
Well, there is magic.
Matter.
So yeah, just like we were talking about with the angel numbers, the want, they're sort of unconsciously
like a low
embedded
vibrational word. Yeah, want or I need and that's the thing with manifesting too. You never want to have like that manic manifesting desperate vibe either, right? It's like calm. It's trusting, like we said. I've been there where I'm like, oh my God, with money or whatever it is, even love. But really, it's the energy of like calmness behind it and certainty and not making sure like you're phrasing this in the most powerful way. Like every word is a piece to like this beautiful recipe, right? Like if you're making a cake, you don't have the oil, might not come out good. Same thing with your affirmation. I want lots of money, for this or that. It's gonna versus I'm attracting. So that sounds so much like powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you feel it. You definitely feel it. Let me ask one last question on this topic, just rewinding from a few minutes ago. So you were talking about kind of the word of the year, like, the main word, whether it's peace, abundance, magnetism. And then and I'd love to if you'd clarify for the audience, say probably the 5-6 main areas for most of us is relationships, family, if we have kids, or even if, parents and siblings, career, health, our personal lives, maybe something else. I don't know. But, those are, for most people, it says, 5, 6, 7,
the main areas. I think they call them, the pillars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So do you recommend, if let's say the word is abundance, and would you say I feel abundant in my health, I feel abundant in my career, or would you say it's more appropriate that abundance is kind of a part of that? You were talking about the umbrella, kind of, it's almost like the part of the umbrella, but then you pick a different word that feels more resonant for each of those pillar areas.
Yeah. So what your main word is going to really affect all those areas. So you're going to feel abundant in relationships. You're going to feel abundant with money. So like one year, to give an example, my word was luxurious. So even when I was at home, like with family, it was simple, but it felt luxurious because we had some good food. That year, I actually manifested. My car was so messed up. I had a Tahoe, and I was like, gosh, I need this. I need a car. I manifested a car in 3 days. I was like, I'm going.
Nice. What kind of car did you get?
I ended up getting a Volkswagen Atlas, which I thought was luxurious for me because I had
those are
a
amazing.
Chevy Tahoe. I was like a Tahoe girl. They used to call me boss lady because it was black. I looked like I was from the mob. In the mob. But that felt luxurious because I was at a point where I was like, I'm willing to drive like a Camry, and nothing against any, but I was like, I'll take anything. I don't need my big black car. But because I set the energy of luxurious, the guy that helped me, first of all, the general manager helps me out of nowhere and gives me this gonga deal. It was insane with like it was just magical. And he had all these little like Corolla, random other Kias. And it was like, here was this like Volkswagen. And it looks so luxurious.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it does affect like in ways you can't even imagine. Luxurious energy. I got invited to stay at this beautiful resort. I got these luxurious perfumes that I've been wanting for Christmas. So just that embodiment again, you just become a magnet for it. So for whatever your word is, but it seeps into all areas. But yeah, does that answer your question?
Okay. Yeah, no, that is perfect.
Yeah.
And I want to use, I'm like, okay, I want a second word and it's going to be luxurious.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, that sounds so good. Lighting candles, doing all that fun stuff, making my home and my life even next level.
It does. And it doesn't have to be like expensive, right? Luxurious is like time. It's even falling in love with the mundane. Like I found that taught me I didn't need like what I thought I needed to feel luxurious. So it also, your word of the year teaches you like a soul lesson as well. It's pretty magical. Yeah.
No, I love that. It is amazing how that, I mean, back to like the power of intention, how it changes not just how you show up, but what you see and how you perceive things, creating either a virtuous cycle or kind of that vicious cycle, right? I mean, it's like the back to this life happening for me and it's luxurious and I'm noticing, and I can even have, sort of this feeling of luxury and relaxation in my own home versus life is happening to me. And now I'm noticing what's broken, what's not done. Right. I mean, it's profoundly impactful.
Once you start telling yourself you the baddest in the world, fuck even being the baddest, bitch. You're smart, you're intelligent, you're kind, you're genuine, you're generous. Once you start knowing who you are, how the next bitch feel about you can't affect you at all.
Okay, so we got a couple more to cruise through here. And we talked about this quite a bit, but just in case you have another comment or two, overcoming limiting beliefs with rewiring your reality. You talk about kind of identifying where resistance shows up in the body and subconscious. And I touched on that at the beginning because I've had to call myself out when I know I'm in resistance. So what do we do with resistance?
Oh, I think notice it. Like you said, what you resist persists. And sometimes that's where direction you need to go. I've noticed the things I resisted and like avoided. So just face them, whatever it is. See them. They're not a threat. Work with it, create like that affirmation. I've done so many things myself. Yeah. Yes, I've had control over them, but I feel like I've lost more money in business doing that. Yeah. Because I was, again, like for whatever reason, wow, like outsource it,
Well, I'm going to add to that. Yeah. And just ask for help. I mean, I feel like, a lot of women, a lot of, like alpha women, it's like there is a weird badge of honor back to kind of that priming that we got unconsciously early on. It's like badge of honor, being completely independent. I can do it all. I should do it all. F that is what I say. Get help. I mean, I've got the greatest team in the world, and we keep building on our team through getting experts in, the agency space or contractors and so forth. And it has made what we're doing, I mean, it's really supercharged it. But it is coming over that, if you will, even that resistance and that programming where I should be able to figure it out on my own. I don't need help. I can do it myself. And there's a cost to that, especially for me as a mom. I mean, my desire to be independent and prove everybody has come to, it's been an expense simply on time with my kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so at a certain point, you can do it all, but you're going to pay for it. Like you will pay for it. Right. Versus just saying, I'm willing to surrender. I'm willing to get help. I'm willing to be humble. And, and certain people, they just love figuring stuff out. And that's great. Like if you love it, great. Like then do it. But if it's like, oh, this is a struggle, I don't love it, but something inside of me is kind of telling me I should. I feel like if there is a should, really revisit it. Really revisit. Just give yourself permission.
It's like it's like a low
want and should. Yeah, because again, that's kind of that programming that can be handed to us through generations. And, I think we're all guilty. I'm certainly guilty of saying to people like, you should do this, you should do that. And it really, I love the phrase, don't should on people. Hey, friends out there, don't should on anybody.
That is so
and
good.
don't should on ourselves.
Oh my God.
So
and
good, right?
and this beautiful thing about it, don't let other people's shoulds dim your light and your power. That's, you have to
anybody should on you.
Yeah. Turn the mic down for those shoulds.
Yeah. No, totally. But then it's like back to just like this business of noticing and how these little teeny tiny subtle things back to being rooted in the language, because the language is connecting to the thoughts and beliefs and our hearts, that those little tiny calibrations that happen throughout the day after day, week after week, that really becomes a big flipping multiplier effect over time. Right. And that's what's, to me, exciting.
I've been that bitch. You feel me? I've been that bitch for so long now that it's natural being that bitch. Like, it's not like I have to force trying to be that bitch. I'm that bitch.
Okay, we got this last one. Thanks, everybody, for hanging in there. I know this has been such an amazing, intense, wonderful session. And we're going to give you a fun little TikTok right at the end, just something that to raise your vibe. Your last one, and this is so important to me, and it's such a great way to conclude the session. You talk about how gratitude makes you magnetic. Gratitude is such a high vibe power word. So talk just for a minute on how gratitude is a frequency amplifier.
Yeah. I always like to say that gratitude is my everyday prayer. Like, I start my day with thank you, not what I want,
Love it.
Really,
thank you for what I have, right?
Yeah. And I focus on what's there, not what's missing. I focus on the good. So gratitude doesn't necessarily have to be like, I'm so thankful for this and this. Some days it could, but your gratitude could look like, what was the best thing that happened today? I like to use that one because sometimes it does feel robotic, like I'm checking off a list because I know I need to have gratitude. But again, just like heart power, real magic, gratitude power, that's going to be so magnetic and literally accelerate your manifestations, is just being so grateful. But do it in the way that feels good. So maybe gratitude today for you might be like, I'm going to actually message a specific person. Maybe they really helped me this week, because we're so fixed on what hasn't been done, what we still need to manifest. But what about looking about your whole life? What have you already manifested up until now? And be so grateful and swim on what you've already created and what's here now, because that truly expands. I know it's like so cliche, but then again, that's also another practice too. But if you make saying your positive affirmations, reframing, those negative words, and then using gratitude, it is life-changing. It is pure gold. Your life turns to gold. And I feel like all my manifestations have accelerated using gratitude, focusing what I had. It just expands. They even say you get, hits of dopamine, serotonin, and then it's actually good for your immune system. People who are grateful don't get the flu. That's what they say.
God, there's so much. There is so much evidence. In fact, Joe Dispenza talks about how when you are in gratitude, it's like, let's face it, guys, you can't be in gratitude and anxiety at the same time, right? Those don't coexist physiologically, right? Because in gratitude, you're in your parasympathetic nervous system, right? That rest and digest. And when you're in anxiety or fear, that's the sympathetic nervous system, so-called fight or flight, right? So Joe Dispenza talks about they've done him and his partners have done such amazing research where Joe talks about how when you are in a state of gratitude, how it literally changes how your heart beats.
When you're grateful, your heart starts to beat in a more rhythmic way that causes the arteries in your heart literally to swell, to open up. And so when you actually feel gratitude, there's a physiological component that takes place where your heart feels full. And when energy or blood makes it to the heart, it's a different consciousness, right? It's a different level of awareness than when you're feeling resentful or you're feeling impatient. We saw that when the person's feeling gratitude, once energy makes it to the heart, somehow it begins to move to the brain. And if you would imagine grabbing taking a big sheet and going like this. It's almost like the heart is causing this beautiful pattern of energy move into the brain, causes the brain to move into these beautiful alpha brainwave states. That is that state of imagination. So we teach people then to feel grateful for things that they haven't had yet, as well as the things that they have in their life, and it tends to produce profound changes in their biology.
And that impacts the electromagnetic field that you talked about. It gets you into a parasympathetic state, which is a state of relaxation. It is a state of calm. It is the rest and digest state. It is a state of receptivity versus the sympathetic state where you are fight or flight. You're in defense mode, right? And so there is, to your point about how it improves your immune system, that is real, people. It changes you physiologically. And guess what? We all know this. It feels so good. And when you're feeling good, you're showing up in a way that makes you more high vibe.
Yeah.
Right? Because we've all been
100%.
in that ugly state where we are the opposite of gratitude. We are victims. We are mad. We are blaming. We are shaming. We are blaming and shaming ourselves. We're blaming and shaming everybody around us. And that is so low vibe. Right? And ultimately back to the beginning of the conversation, both are a choice. Both are a choice.
Yeah. And you'll know where you're landing your choice because you'll feel like you just won't feel right. You'll feel contrast, and you're like, oh, I'm focusing on the bad. Even myself, there's times where I'm like, oh, I'm like choosing to not focus on the good right now. I'm looking at what's still left to do, what's still missing, what I haven't done. But it's so powerful. I do it morning and night, like before, right when I wake up and then before bed, and sometimes in the middle of the day when I need to pick me up. And especially when you're feeling like, I don't know, if you're having an off day and things aren't going right, the most powerful way to shift it, of course, gratitude, but it's also just doing something for someone else. Like, what can I give what can I give is such a powerful energy.
Yeah, no, it's such a great reminder, right? And especially, whether you're working mom, working dad, working for, anybody, it's like we're all busier than ever, right? And it's like we're in that we're entrained to think, God, we're just so busy. We just need to, me, I need to get through my list. But that shift, that openness to, to your point, whether it's do something for somebody else, or I'm even thinking right now, I'm gonna commit right now every day this week for the next week, and maybe I'll go 2 weeks and then 3 weeks. Every day I'm gonna write a message to somebody, just noticing what I'm grateful for them, family, friend, colleague, and because I feel like gratitude is it's a feeling, yes, but it is also a practice. So you're motivating me to be even more proactive. And now I'm going to ask everybody watching, we're almost done here, folks. I want you right now to do a 30-second gratitude blast. Speak out loud 5 things you're deeply grateful for. Or if you're like, oh, that feels weird, just say it in your own mind. Don't overthink it. Just feel it. And then when we conclude, just write those things down, right? And because I just feel like there are so many things. I mean, I can sit here and look around. I got this beautiful new lamp from the wonderful consignment boutique. I love you, ladies. And I was in the shop the other day. I'm like, you know how much I just love those lamps? Like, I got a pair of them. It's like, I love talking to you. I'm so grateful for you, Theresa. Hannah and Lily, you are there producing the show. It is fantastic. I've got this wonderful orchid that I got on sale from King Super sitting on my desk. And I am planning to I'll be picking my son up from the airport tonight. Can't wait to see him. I mean, did you see 5 quick things? Like, I didn't even take 30 seconds. It took like 10 seconds. Like, it's all around us, right? But it's that noticing and that's that intention. So it is really, to me, such a gift to speak with you, Theresa. I want to play one more last fun little thing just to end on an even higher fun note.
I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am rich. I am that bitch. I am going to go get that bag and I am not going to take your shit. I am protected, well respected. I'm a queen. I'm a dream. I do what I want to do and I'm who I want to be because I am me.
I love that. Big shout out to Baby Tate. That's on my playlist. And I know there are a bunch of people that I'm friendly with. That's like their song every single day. It's like a whole long thing. But it really is back to the beginning and throughout this entire conversation, Theresa, how we talk to ourselves and the spells that we are putting on ourselves and those around us through the language we choose, through the beliefs that we feel, tapping into our heart power, as you talked about. I mean, we all have more power than we often give ourselves credit for. And affirmations and using words magically, like you say, is such a powerful way to supercharge living our dreams and achieving and receiving all we desire. Anything else you want to end with before we wrap up, Theresa?
No, just my favorite thing is thank you. My favorite prayer. So thank you. I'm so excited and just much love and just wishing everyone just a magical year. Pick that word, manifest it like a boss.
I love it. Okay. So we're wrapping up here, guys. Before we do, you can follow Theresa and get her amazing affirmations. She's got cards. She's got everything in the affirmation space you can get if you follow Theresa at I Am Affirmation Babe on Instagram. That's where you can get so much more of Theresa, and you can get her literally every day and go back into her amazing archives. Her work is so beautiful. And is there a course? Is there a guide? Is there anything else that, for people who really want to go even more deeply into the work that you do, is there anything else that you want to shout out?
Thanks for asking. If you follow me at I Am the Affirmation Babe on Instagram, it's the one spot. It's chill, one place. It's not that hard. But I will share in my stories when I have master classes, and soon to come a little membership community where I will put up all my classes. I have tons of creations that I've done around teaching affirmations, how to manifest love, how to, attract abundance, prosperity. And then also I have a podcast, so you can tune into there where I go deeper in some of these teachings as well. And because I love heart, it's called Heart to Talk with Theresa Cesare. So you will see that if you follow me at I Am the Affirmation Babe, all my other platforms and courses and upcoming amazing things to come. So yeah, thank you for
amazing. Yeah, you've been an incredible guest. Okay, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I know this was a bit of a longer episode, but I hope you got as much out of it as I did. It was incredible. I feel so energized and supercharged just to take my affirmations practice to the next level. Just last quick shout out. If you don't have the Power of Manifestation handbook, grab it at thepowerofmanifestation.com, because we are featuring some great affirmations. A lot of the things that we talked about here are teed up because it's hard to remember everything we talked about, but I want to make sure it's really easy. And to me, it's all about internalizing it. It's actioning it. It's not just watching and saying, oh, that was so entertaining and aren't they cute? And we are. And that was entertaining. But I really, really, really want you to take action. And using the handbook is a powerful way to do so. With that, I look forward to seeing you on the next session of the Power of Manifestation. Have a blessed day. And I'm going to end with what Theresa said. Thank you. Thank you so much.